Amazing. All right. So we're typing away here. We're typing away. So Jazz just loves me. So that's great. I love it. Lauren, I've been doing lots of resetting lately. Draw me to you again. Oh, awesome. I love the life cycle. And I always love you, Lauren. So yeah, awesome to have you here. How to learn how to bring in more overflow with ease rather than the hyper task orientated in business. Perfect. That is what I love to bring as well. So yeah, you're in the right place, Dal, in the right place. Receive some abundance and prosperity codes on how to call in your soul tribe clients. Love it. Smash the ceiling in business. Let's smash it. There's no ceiling. The sky isn't even the limit, as one of my mentors says. So yeah, that's awesome. Always open to finding out more about abundance and how to invite it in. Lovely. Love that. There's always more to learn. There's always more to evolve in it, isn't there? More abundant mind. Love it. Yeah. Oceans of abundance. Yes, oceans. Let's go. How to become unstuck and get to that 30, 50K month. Love it. Smash the caps. Yep. Curiosity. Application of alchemy in real life. Yeah. Thanks, Linda. And seeing how it applies to this specifically is awesome. Yeah. I love learning new things, realigning myself with abundance, stop the hustle, the push, have the flow. Awesome. There's lots of similarities here. How to create with ease in all areas of life, manifest in my home. Love it. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Hey, just doing that and then it flooding in. That's awesome. Consistent income, take on abundance and how to use magic. Awesome. Lovely. Well, I just wanted to land us in the room and sort of gather those pieces. So thank you for those who share. If you've got more to put in, then you can definitely put in. And thank you for the people that are showing me their beautiful faces. Sometimes I know you may not be out here. There might be kids running around, all the things, but if you can, I love it because I love seeing beautiful human beings like yourself. Okay, without further ado, let's get on. Who is excited? Pumped, get into some abundance. Awesome, let's go. I was going to start as like doing a dance, whatever, and then I'm like, I was just dancing before. I'm like, I'll like ease you in. Some of it's night, late, you know, you're up to the dancing, but
it'll be tricky for you, innit?
I might bring it out later. You never know. All right. So firstly, I just want to let you know my intention. Why is Miranda here? Why is she doing this? Because you guys have all shared it very beautifully and I love to share mine. So one is that I love trainings. Like I love speaking. I love running these things.
If you behave.
That's one thing. This is just such a passion.
I'm happy to give it to you. She's already talking. It's rude. Come on.
Awesome. Love it. Good on you, Jacqueline. Yeah. So that's one thing. I also have a really big love, which is breaking women through, igniting them, like empowering them, getting them fired up to break through your, your upper limits and to just blow up your life in terms of yourself, your power, your abundance.
Hey, Miranda, can you ask Shai
the transformation I've had? And then when I ever see a client do it as well, like it's just like lights me up like anything. So that's another reason. And also, I value truth. I value authenticity. You'll see how important truth is in creating abundance. I also have an event coming up, an incredible breakthrough event in August. And so an intention of mine is to woo you and to amaze you with my incredible magic. And so that then you're curious and you'd like to know more about this event if it is a match as well. I like to be upfront with that because you know how sometimes you do these things and then like you wait and then this is like, where's the catch? And it's not a catch. I'm going to be all in on serving you guys. It's just, I'm realistic that this is an hour as well. And if you give me 2 days, I can freaking break you through to beyond as well. Doesn't mean that you have to come. Doesn't mean I'm not going to give you pieces and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to hold things back, but that's just, they're my intentions. And I want to be truthful with you. So that's that, my loves. That's that. So again, let's just jump in. Awesome. All right. So I want to share with you a little bit about my journey. Now, if you've been around me at all, you've probably heard my story, but I'm going to give you a little different slant and it's all going to be through the eyes of abundance. And the reason I want to share this with you is because there are a lot of gold nuggets I learned in the journey to where I'm at now. And I want to share some of those pieces because you will be at different points in your journey. And seduce me, baby. I love it, Just. I'll seduce you. I'll dance for you. But there are gold amongst it. And whatever you're in right now, like you'll relate to different parts of my story. So I want to share that. And then that's going to give you lots of different pieces to why the abundant code. And then I'm going to share the 3 key pieces that really unlocked the next level for me and keep expanding things. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So firstly, I'm sure you again, you've been around me, you'd know when I started my business, it was at the beginning of the end for me. I was 6 months pregnant, thinking I'm on top of the world, thinking my life's amazing. I'm about to go start my business like full time. I'm going to have my baby. It's all going to be easy because you can have a baby in a business really easily. That's what I thought at the time. And I was like, have my husband, have my baby, have my job. If I want to fall back on it, making good money, it's a significance, like all the things, right? I had it all sorted. Within a month,
yeah, of course,
my husband changes and I discover that he's having an affair and we can't work through it. And so I'm now a single mum when I was 6 months pregnant. And I was going on mat leave. I didn't have any money, didn't have a business then because I was depressed, suicidal. I didn't know how on earth I was going to have a well-being business. And my body was, not the best it had ever been, wasn't functioning the best it had ever been. All my life that I'd put all this worth on had just fallen beneath me in a moment. And that is the foundations in which I built my business. It's not very clear. It's not really hardcore. It's very rocky and very damaged. But I started my business when my son was 6 weeks old. And one thing of why I want to tell you that from my time of being depressed and not being able to move through, and then when my son was 6 weeks old, something happened. And that thing that happened was the core foundation that rebuilt my whole business upon. It was the bedrock because everything had fallen out within it. Everything external had gone. The only thing I had left was self-compassion. To love myself no matter what was happening in my world. Because everything I thought was, oh, Miranda's good, she's worthy because of this. It all fell away. I wasn't worthy. I was on the bottom of the run. I felt like I was a failure coach, not a success coach. The only thing I could hang my hat on, the only thing I could build from was self-compassion and loving myself, no matter what I thought the world thought of me, no matter what externally I had, because I had nothing. And I can tell you from that moment forward, and every time I've had expansions in myself and my life and my business, it has been on the bedrock of self-compassion. No matter what happens, no matter what shit goes down, no matter what launch fails, no matter what business grows or doesn't, engagement you get on a post or doesn't, if you can have the bedrock of love of yourself, you can take any motherfucking scary action because it doesn't matter. You've got you anyway. And so that was the very first foundation I built. And that to this day and I could tell you many other stories as to why that created abundance for me. But understanding that it's all internal, because from that point, I actually saw myself in the most beautiful way I'd ever seen myself. Before that, I was 50 kilos, I'd have my husband, all these things, but I never saw myself as beautiful. I never saw worth in me. Didn't matter what I had, I was never worthy. But when I had that came from within. And I felt more abundant then when I had no money. I had $15,000 in the bank account, no way of making any income. I felt more abundant then than ever before because it was an internal game. Yes, you rely on me. They say the bird doesn't care and worry about flying, about the tree branch breaking because it knows it can fly. And it's like when you have those internal resources within, it does not matter what happens outside of you. And actually, that was the biggest gift in my life. You resonate. Thanks, Shay. Yeah, and you guys want to chat away throughout, you're very welcome. So in the chat box. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is I went for 6 months of my business having no clue what I was doing. And I worked my ass off, like literally 50-hour weeks when he was a newborn. I mean, he's napped a lot. So every time he napped, I just did lots of business stuff. But I was working so hard, looking at 5 different niches, like everything I'd ever done in my life. I was like going for all these different things in my coaching business. And I made $30,000 in 6 months, knowing nothing. And I was also coming out of like being depressed and like all the things I had to deal with the newborn son. That was pretty crazy, right? I used to think it wasn't a lot, but back then it was. That was a lot for me, not knowing anything. And why did I do that? Why did I create that when I had actually no idea? At this point, I hadn't spent any money on coaches because I just took scary action. I just took scary action, and I just was like, I was so in need of making money for my son that it's just like every idea I had, I just went with it. And I wouldn't encourage that for you in terms of like just going nuts and, whatever, but I would encourage you to take the scary action. When you have an idea, go and move with it. because I was just putting myself in front of people, risking rejection and stuff. And I guess because of all the rejection I had, that wasn't as bad. I was like, I just got rejected 10-year relationship. That was worse. Like nothing else can be worse, so I guess that was a part of it. But there's a place for just taking courageous steps, right? However, I was burning out, and because I was working so hard and I was literally feeling like I was like just having a go and taking anything possible, I was just burning out and being very overwhelmed. And so you became a virtual assistant, learned on the run. Yeah, it's tricky with a bub, yeah, for sure. So then I actually found a coach, and she cost $8,000. And now at this point, I hadn't, I'd earned a little bit, but I still didn't have a whole lot in the bank. I actually gave her nearly half of my savings, and I still didn't know if it was going to fully work or what. But I just knew that I was running around by myself trying to do what I could, but I couldn't really figure it out. And so it was like, one thing I want to really tell you about abundance is you're always paying something. You're either paying for money or time. And I value time so much more that I will hire a coach, I will hire a cleaner, I will hire and outsource things because my time is so much more valuable. And if I didn't get that coach then, even though it was a very big risk for me because I didn't have anyone supporting me, I didn't have a whole lot of money. If I didn't get that then, I wouldn't have really known what I was doing, and I would have kept burning myself out to the point that I would have finished and I wouldn't have had it. So that was more risky. The burning out, the effect on my son, the wasting my time, that cost more to me than the $8,000. And that's a really important thing for you to learn with abundance in investments. And I really saw it as an investment, and it became an investment because in the next year, I made $80,000 off her work. So over a year and a bit, I had 10 times that investment. So it wasn't a cost. And it's I see this a lot with women in business. You need to have a business mindset with your money and your investing. It's a very different mindset to a hobby. And I'm going to talk about this later. But it's a really key distinction of the way that a business person, a normal business person's got to put like $200,000 down to make a cafe or whatever, right? So they understand there's going to be that investment. And then that's a return. It's not however, a lot of coaches don't get that. They don't understand that. And I find some of them play in the hobby realm and not in the business realm for that sense. And I'm going to talk a bit about that in a moment. So there are a couple of things. However, this is a really important distinction as well. That was all good and working for the first little while. And then it was about a year of that, I moved down to the beach. And for some reason, when I moved away from my family. There was this sense like, I'm just not going to get money. There was a sense like before this, and I didn't tell you this, before this, I believed in God quite strongly. And I believed God was going to make me the same amount I was getting paid in my old job. I just believed I would get that same amount every month. I just believed it. I was like, I'm a single mom. God's not going to let me down. God's going to find me. The universe is going to find me whatever $1,000 it was, 7,000 or whatever it was in my old job. And kid you not, every single month, it came from all these random places, but I would get the exact same amount every month. And then I left and I went to the beach. And for some reason, I just felt like I was away from my family, and I just felt like God's abandoned me as well. I don't know. And what happened? Literally, kid you not, zero came in that month. Zero came in. As soon as I shifted that belief, that energy, it equated to the external world giving me feedback and evidence of that. I went into lack, I went into scarcity, and then that's what manifested in my life. And so then I realized there's actually a lot more, because at this point I was doing a lot of strategy work, and I realized there was a whole lot more of the inner game, and I was in this insecurity place. And so I was like, I need to actually work on my self-worth. I need to work on my inner world, because that's where it all starts. So I actually took 2 months off trying to push my business, and I went and did inner work with this coach. And again, the money just started to flood in. People just started to refer people to me. I just started to find me on my website. I got invited to speak in Sydney. There was all these crazy opportunities that just started happening. However, Miranda's a little bit slow in understanding the power of energy. I don't know if you guys are too, but I was still like, oh, no, but the strategy still works, right? So it started to shift, but I was like, no, strategy works. So I, again, went to try and find strategy coaches, all the things. And every time I went to do that, they tell me to be in like this niche and go, oh, you got to be in this health niche, Miranda, this weight loss niche, because that's all you have. You don't have a husband, you don't have la la la, so you got to do this, And it didn't feel right for me. I was like, I wanted to do resilience. I wanted to do self-worth. I wanted to be general coaching. And so I took what their advice was. I did what the strategy person said. No, hardly any money coming in again. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do what I feel. I'm going to go do what my intuition says. Money starts coming in. I went to general coaching, which isn't a strategy thing to do. Money comes in. And so I started to see this pattern of like my energy and who I am in here is directly affecting what's happening in my world around money and abundance. So I sat there and I'm like, I'm going to test this out. I'm going to give this a go. I spent a month meditating. I did no strategy. I spent a month doing a meditation and I was focusing on getting a 10K month. I did nothing, literally, other than meditating every day. I didn't do any strategy. And I'd never made a 10K month before this point. And then bang, the last day, the last call, the last person, I kid you not, this is the true story, I make a 10K month. You think again, I'd have still now figured out energy is the way, but no, I went back to strategy. I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I hired these strategy coaches and I was paying $5,000 a month for these strategy coaches. This is when I made this decision of I'm going to treat it like a business, not a hobby. Because before this point, I'd trialed things, done things, but I'd never really fully chosen to go all in and to make my business work no matter what. I was reading this book and I'd encourage you to have it, check it out. What is it? The art, hang on. I'm going to find it in a sec. If I can't, I will tell you guys it later. Why can't I think of it? The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. This was the book where I really made the decision to not let resistance take a hold of me anymore and to really just go, I'm going all in my business. I'm not paying it like a hobby anymore. If I was a pro in my business, if it was like my real deal, like an athlete, how does an athlete approach their training and their job? They get up at 5 a.m. They train hard. They focus. They do all the things. They don't just say, oh, maybe, I don't know. They go all in. They invest everything, time, energy, all of it. They're all in on their dream. And up until that point, I was playing hobby. I was like, want it, but not really showing up for it, right? So that's what I decided. Now, for me in that, I was like, okay, I'm going to hire these big coaches. I'm going to pay all this money. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do that, but that's what I did. So I was paying $5,000 a month. Now, however, I got into $20,000 of debt because for 4 months, the worst point in my business, I made $0. Why? Same pattern that was happening for a while. I went and relied on a strategy coach to tell me what to do what they'd done, became this, I started doing business coaching like they had done it in this strategy way and all this stuff. And it wasn't working for me. It was not my background. I've got psychology background. I've got an energy background. I've got emotion background. Like that's who I am. I'm not someone who just is a master of social media. Like I do that, but it's not my mastery. It's not my genius. I was trying to copy them, doing what they said, ignoring my intuition and my genius, and it backfired again. Doing all this action, doing all this strategy. I got on 20 sales calls. Every single person said no. My energy was off and I was just trying to copy someone. I stopped, realized again what I'd done, literally stepped back into my genius, like, no, I'm going to do this energy work. He was saying, no one's going to pay for that. It's like, well, I care about it. I'm going to do it. Did that, backed myself, had self-worth, focused on the women and serving them to the absolute max. I was $20,000 in debt as a single mom, literally about to have to lose my house, become homeless, like get out of here because I didn't have money to keep sustaining paying this. So I needed money. But because I was needing money and focusing so much on that, everyone who talked to me could sense that's what I was really here for. It wasn't said, but unconsciously I could sense that energy. And so I, just got back into service, got back into my mission, got back into serving them. I had these pro bonos and I was giving them absolutely everything, helping them with everything I've got. And the next month, I made a 20K month. And then beyond that, that was like 3.5 years ago, I've never gone below like a 20K month again. And that is from 35 years, 33 years, or whatever it was, of struggling with abundance. And then it's like this code unlocked. And then I went into an 100K launch, 200K launch, and it just keeps escalating. But none of it is actually, and I'm going to tell you these key pieces, but one really key one I want to finish with here is none of it's actually about the money. Whenever I have these launches, I focus on the women and the transformation, the event, the experience, the end result they're going to receive with that. That is what I get joy out of. Whenever I used to try and focus on money and creating heaps of money, it would always get all this resistance and all this funkiness around it. But when I come to the heart of what I'm here for, what my service is, what I'm a genius at, and what I love to serve women in, when I come back to that, that's when abundance comes as a natural byproduct. So it's funny we're talking about money here, but it's actually never really the point. It's just the natural byproduct when you're your genius, you're following your intuition, and you're serving the world. So that's a little bit of my story, that it has chunks of pieces in it that I'm going to share now with the alchemy of abundance, like the 3 keys. But put in there, what's your key takeaway, ladies? And does anyone want to unmute and share at the moment as well? You can, you don't have to, or you can just put it in the chat. Key takeaways.
I'll share.
You want to share, Jazz?
Yeah.
Oh, why is it not? I can't hear you.
Oh.
You're not on mute. Hang on. Can you guys hear her?
Can you guys
hear? Hang on. Wait, hang on. 1 second, Jazz. I think my audio has gone to my Yeti. Here we go. I'm like, I can't hear you. I hope no one else is trying to help speak to me. Anyway, you go, Dal.
I was just something that really spoke to me. It's like the heart of what we do. And if we can come back to that, and yeah, sales are important, absolutely. But if that's not our focus, and we focus in on the service and who we get to be, like it's literally like I used to run this program a couple of years ago called The Heart of the Feminine, and you've just brought up all this stuff, because there's this thing inside of us because we want to be of service. And I'm feeling really moved right now.
So true. Thank you, my love. And this is the thing that, like, that is such a high vibration, like the love and the service in your unique way, like it is so strong. And whenever I tune into that, that just moves me. And I don't like, my fear and all the bullshit doesn't get in the way, because it's like, I'm serving these women, and if I get stuck in my shit, I can't serve them, but when we make it about the money, and it's for me, it was a negative vision too, in that I was like, I'm in debt, oh crap, I don't want to be in debt, like I need to run away. And so then the energy is in the debt and in the lack, so yeah, these are really big keys. Thank you for that, Dal. Does anyone else want to unmute and share? Otherwise, put in the chat what's your key takeaway, and then we're going to move on.
I can share. I really like that piece about staying true to how you organically share. Like, I know there's so much strategy, sales funnels, sales calls, leads, and it's like brilliant structures, great, but I've always felt blocked in some of them, or really pushing to get them done. And I think it's like you have to almost go with the path of least resistance, that perhaps your way looks a bit different.
100%. And like, for me personally, like my trainings or calls with people, or, they're the things that people get drawn to me on, or posts. Like my sales pages or whatever, it's like, I don't put much energy into that at all, because that's not really like, I might give it to someone for their intellect to just understand a little bit, but it's like, you'll sense the people who are drawn to me, like they know they want to drawn to me and they want to work with me. And that's just who I get. Right. So yeah, it's a really key piece, trusting in in that energy. Because I used to be such a strategy fiend and like really try to polish all that. And it didn't matter how polished it was. If my energy was still funky in it, it just created nothing. Literally, I got on 20 calls. They said no. Like I was doing all the strategy. I was doing all the ways that they told me to do it, you know? So yeah, I love that, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, we've got a couple more people to write or share. Anyone else? Five-step sale process. All right, I will start reading some of these and then give you guys some time to put in. I'm copying you. Was coming from energy of desperately needing money. Yes. It's never, you know, anytime we have a sense of this desperation, whatever, it's not an exciting energy at all. I don't know what is making this noise. I'm just gonna, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm just gonna close that. Okay. Focus on the energy and serving the money as a byproduct. 100%. Focus on the heart of what I am here for, and a great reminder about the energy being where the focus is. Yes. Awesome. Do I only work with women? I work with men as well. But yeah, predominantly women. Yeah. Amazing. All right, let's jump into the 3 pieces, and I'll receive some more of these little comments as we go. My money beliefs always were around hard work. Now it's about money when my heart's. Now it's about when my heart sings, the money clings. Oh, I love that. and it's so true, Lauren. Like, I literally do what I love all the time, and I create a lot from that place. You know, whenever I did strategy or I did all these things that were not aligned to me, not many people came. And even when I talk about strategy now, there's not a lot of people that come for that, you know. But if I talk about the superconscious, or I talk about emotions and energy and like all this abundance, you know, activations, people flip and flood to it, you know, because my energy's there, and that's what my genius is. So yeah, we got to create from that place what you're excited by. That's when you're magnetic, you know. And it's about the feminine magnetism that is so powerful, because that's when we don't have to do all this work, and we can receive, you know. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. All the wealth creating sales scripts in the world did not help. Yes. Be more, do less, meditate on the desired outcome. Yeah. Yeah, it's getting old. That's right. Strategy is getting old. All right, let's go, loves. Let's go into these 3 key pieces. So firstly, we're talking about the alchemy of abundance, right? So alchemy, you probably know, and there's a few of you who are masters of alchemy in the room as well. Alchemy is about, you know, the ancient art of many things. They researched and explored many things. However, one of the key ones was turning lead into gold, and a dense, limited material into the most precious, highest vibration material. Okay. That is what a lot of the alchemists studied and looked at. And there was, you know, much research and people exploring that over the time. So that's what we're looking at. Now, there are 3 steps that the alchemists would use. Now, there's many, but they really honed it into 3 key points that an alchemist would use to make it go from lead to gold. And these are the exact 3 things that I have done to take myself and my consciousness from lead, being stuck in my unconscious and my limited beliefs and all this bullshit I had about myself. And when I was stuck there, I created a lot of nightmares, like co-creating with my husband, you know, him cheating and leaving when I'm pregnant. That was a great little masterpiece of mine. and I've done a lot of manifesting the crap. So how did we go from here and business that's stuck and like dead and feeling boring and like got no life force, got no abundance? How do we go from that and alchemize it, transmute it into gold, where it is its highest vibration? You are on your highest frequency. You are as vibrant as anything. And your business is just magnetizing abundance with ease. You know, how do we do that transformation? These are the 3 keys. So the first one is a big one, and that is Negredo, the step of Negredo. Now, Negredo is about your truth. That's why I care so much about truth. And the biggest thing about truth is that so many people like, and one of my mentors, William, talks about this, like want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. So many people want this amazing business. They want this phenomenal thing that they're after, but they're not willing to go through the trenches, to go to the depths, to do the underwork, the shadow work on the pieces to get there. I'm going to look at two extremes here, though, because that's not the only one, but this is one. Now, I'm going to give you experience of this for a moment, and then I'm going to talk a bit more about it. So I want you to just shut your eyes. Shut your eyes and take some breaths. Just connect to your body, connect to presence. And I want you to just imagine, visualize, see what it is that you desire to create in your business and in abundance. Just allow yourself to see it, to feel it. And just notice as you're doing that, how does that feel in your body? What comes up? And really go there. Like, even maybe it's a few years away, whatever it is, it's like, what's this really exciting vision that you have? And then I want you to just come back to the now. Look at what you're navigating right now. Look at how far it may seem from where you just wanted to be, but where you are right now. And just start, if you can, out loud, or if you can't, if there's someone around, just start writing, like speaking the truth of what's going on right now. What are the blocks? What are the things coming up for you? What are the fears? What are the doubts? Just be really truthful about where you're at right now, the feelings that you have right now in relation to it, the fears. I just want you to do a circle of truth and just speak out loud, ideally, or write down what's the truth coming up for you about this right now. And I'll give you a few moments to do that. And just let yourself really go there. Get really honest with yourself. And if you want to put any of that in the chat, you can. If you don't have to. But just, what are those blocks? Worthiness, yeah. Fear, scarcity, failure. Is it really possible? Yeah. The doubt, scared that I won't serve well enough, won't be able to manage it. Yeah, that's a massive one. So often we actually are not able to have what we want. This is a massive piece for you to understand. Most of the time we won't let ourselves have what we want because we're afraid we can't handle the flip side. And the universe, if you say you want something, as soon as we declare we want it and we want to launch it, the universe is going to test whether we're ready for it. Can you hold this? Do you really want it? Shit happens as soon as we declare what we desire. because the universe is testing, are you a match for that? Are you ready for it? Can you handle it? Because why would the universe and God want to throw us in the middle of a bus like if we can't handle it, you know? When I have my mastermind, there is shit that comes up. The women get triggered on me. I get triggered on them. Like it's like a boiling pot of stuff, you know, and I get tested before I launch to go, Miranda, are you ready? Because this is what's going to happen. It's not all joy, joy, happy, la, la. There's a lot of shit. We love it. We love each other, but there's a lot of stuff that comes up. So anytime I'm in a launch, and I'm about to be in one for my next alchemy now, there's already stuff surfacing. But the thing is, I'm not freaked out by it. And I'm not like, oh my God, this means I can't do it. I'm just, oh, okay. Yep, this is the start. You know, if you think about launching a bow and arrow, you don't go forward. You got to go back to go forward. If you're going to launch something in your business, you're going to go in the next step up. You have to go back into your unconscious, into the truth, into the bullshit, feel all the hard stuff. That's a part of the process. And so often what happens is we start to go into it. We become a mess because we're like, this just means I can't handle this. It means I can't do it. This means I'm not worthy of it. And we get stuck in that and we get sucked into it. So sometimes with the truth, we get stuck in suffering and in pain. We get stuck in the shadow. And there's a lot of people in the embodiment world. We can just get stuck in the shadow, believe all the bullshit and just get lost. There's those people. So then they like pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull, and it just breaks and they fall down and they never go forward. That's not what we're meant to do. And then there's the other people, this is the other extreme, who start to pull back, freak out. No, that's not cool. I don't like that. And they just want to go forward. They just want to be in the they just want to be in the cool thing straight away. They don't want to go into the shadow. And they don't create either. Because there's no momentum. You know, there's not dropping down enough. So here we have some more. So hiding, limited expression, shyness, people pleasing, rejection, hurt, not good enough, not chosen, failure, disappointment, unloved. I hate mindlessly following the rules. Wasn't safe in the past. I like doing it my way. Yes, too late. Don't dare. Imposter. Don't take action. Don't believe. Stay in the rush, rush, go, go. Don't have the masculine energy getting shit done. Is it really possible? Yeah. See, these are all these patterns that come up. And these are the things that are blocking us from what we want. Stuck in needing to know how it's going to happen. So the how. Looking to others, still thinking using strategies, the how, the power of putting in the how instead of just your energy, being the martyr, trying to do it yourself, not getting support, not asking for money, not trusting your launch. It's failed before. Yep. And so you think it's just going to fail again. And so then that energy is projected forward. Had the overwhelm on how to get moving, restricted visibility due to the nature of what you're doing. Keep attracting people that need a complete overhaul, but it's not what I have time for. Interesting that you're attracting people who are not the right match. There's an energetic piece to that, Shay. Scared of success, I can't handle. Boundaries. Yeah. So all of these pieces are the truth in the current reality right now. And the biggest thing around this is you need to be aware of it, and you need to release the emotional tension around this. Doesn't mean that you need to fix it. Doesn't mean that you need to go do this. Like, how many bloody courses I've done and money. Spent $400,000 on like 40 different coaches and programs the last few years. And, you know, like, I remember it was 12 hours, one of them going for 2 days, 12 hours to do these breakthroughs, to break these limiting beliefs and all this stuff. It's like, but then the next month I got them, they came back again. And so then I got depressed and thought I'm never going to break out of it. You're not going to break out of your limiting beliefs, because they're fucking a part of your ego. They're a part of your unconscious. That's all good. So we're not going to break out of it. We don't need to fix it. Like, that's not the point. They're a part of your orientation on how you see the world, right? Your unconscious is not going to let it wipe itself. It's not going to let that happen. So we don't need to put energy into that. You don't need to get rid of this. However, you need to be aware of it, and you need to release some of the emotional tension around it by doing some emotional release, by doing some embodiment work, by doing some of that as well. I'll give you an example. At the beginning of the launch, when my first alchemy launches, and I had a 100K launch, I have this is a really powerful tool. I have this tool where every day I would say, and the first day I started it, this is the first day I received it, God, universe, whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, show me the unprocessed emotion I need to feel that's blocking blah, whatever it is, the 100K launch, the alchemy launch, you know. I kid you not, the first day I said that, it's a very powerful thing to say. If you're not ready for it, don't. But it's amazing, right? This is one of the keys for the truth piece on how I launch and how I make 100K, 200K launch, whatever. That day I went walking and there was this guy I saw, I kid you not, 30 times in these different locations. And I was like, why am I keep seeing this guy? Like, and I stopped and talked to him and I'm like, I'm sorry, I see you everywhere. Like, it was literally all these different places at the same time. I was like, I see you everywhere. Like, what you know, what's going on? And so we started chatting and anyway, we went on another date. All is good. He's a chef at the local pub here. And I was just like, oh, I don't know about a chef at the local pub who's just literally from school going to there. But anyway, whatever, I'll keep going. And it wasn't on my list of what I wanted in a man, but I was like, oh, I'll keep trying. Anyway, we're dating, like having these little fun dates and whatever. And then he finds out I'm a mum. And then he just shifts and he changes and then just doesn't contact me again. And I was just like, straight away, the first day I do this prayer, that's what happens. And all of this unworthiness came up of like, geez, even a chef doesn't want me. Like, this is probably rude to say, but that was like what I felt, right? And there was all this unworthiness that came up. And a massive piece for why I wasn't letting myself have this alchemy launch was because I felt unworthy. I felt not good enough. I felt undeserving. And the universe was giving me and gifting me this trigger to bring it up so I could feel it, release it, let it go, be aware of it, go to the next process I'm going to show you and move on and create what I want, make 100K in a month, working 10-hour weeks as a single mum. So the truth, the power of the truth is so important. However, we don't want to be stuck here. We need to move on. You need to be aware of it. You need to release some tension around it, but then we need to move on. Okay. So the second part of this is albedo. And albedo is tapping into your superpower, your superconscious, connecting to your true essence of who you truly are. And again, I'm going to lead you through something to give you a taste of this first, and then I'm going to speak a bit more into it. So again, I just would love you to close your eyes and start connecting back to the body. Take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to just imagine that you're floating up really high in the sky. Just imagine floating up really, really high. And I want you to imagine to see this timeline, a past and a future. Just see this line. And I want you to go all the way down along your past. Imagine floating all the way down along the past, all the way down to before you were born, when you were just this energy floating in the universe. You're this essence. You were this force to be reckoned with. And I want you to just breathe in that power of who you truly are. You're no longer a form as a human. You're this golden, like glowing light. You're this energy, this essence, this power. You're full of certainty. You're full of knowing. You're interconnected to all things. And just notice and feel in your body and keep expanding that energy, expanding that light. Just notice what your body feels. And as you're in this state, if I say to you, are you worthy? You just say, I'm just light. Are you enough? I'm just light. Are you safe? I'm just light. Are you a success or are you a failure? I'm just light. Just breathe that power of who you truly are in. And just begin to float back down to yourself when you're ready, to this moment. And I'd love you to write in the chat and be honest, how do you feel now? Compared to maybe even before when we were looking at the truth. Is there any difference? Even if it's just a word, light, expansive, and infinite being. More impartial, clear, not attached, tingly, golden, soft, tingly, settled. Yeah. Expanded, promptly pinged back to her son's presence. Good old kids, hey? Serene, free, light, powerful, just light. Yes. Quiet, peaceful. Love it. So ladies, like, this is our true essence. This is actually who we are. You are the most powerful being known to this, planet. You are a super conscious force, a genius. You have this intuition. You have this ignited, enlightened, expanded, awakened, like, part of you that you always have attachment to, you always have connection to. That's actually your true identity, is this. If I was to say to you, how did this single mom who was broke, who was depressed, who was suicidal on the brink of these things, who worked her ass off for 3 years in her business, getting nowhere, still thinking she's a failure, feeling guilty that she wasted all this money on her business and nothing came to her son, who had issues with eating, body image, like men, like I could list every issue under the sun. It's pretty much Miranda had it, right? How did she go to this person now who can make a $200K a month like that with complete magic that I'm going to tell you about, who just loves herself despite all that anyway, has time with her son, loves her son, accepts all the things, loves my ex, and all that he still does, whatever. How? Because I connect to this. And I pivot from my shit and I get in my shit. Last night I was in my shit and I was crying and things. But I go there, I let it be, and then I pivot and go back to my truth. I don't get stuck in that. That's not who I am. This is who I am. But I'm going to go there and give myself the presence because that's what needs to happen. But I'm going to come straight back to who I really am and be anchored in this. This is who you are. And this is what, when you come back here and you create visions and you tune into this regularly and you come to this place of love, you are a force to be reckoned with. You create powerful things. You manifest like nothing. The end of this 200K launch, I did. The last 2 women, I wanted 2 more women into my program. And I just got a sense that I wasn't going to market. I wasn't going to tell anyone I wanted 2 more. I just was going to want it. That was it. Every day I did these meditations that I just focused on it, drew it in, felt my power. And then this woman came to me from a post. I was just posting about something and she came to me and she's like, I'm really drawn to you and all the things. She, wanted to work with me, whatever, but she took like a week or 2 to come. And I was like, what's going on? And whenever that happens, like there's an energetic block for me. And so I then was like, oh, okay. Like I was resisting some emotional work and energy work. I did it. And then she messages me and she's like, oh yeah, I'm super keen, and because I went back to my super conscious, like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then I was out with my clients. One of the girls I matched her with just to have a chat with because she wanted to talk to her about my work. I was out with them I was standing somewhere else. I went down here to meet her. The girl, I didn't even know she lives in Melbourne, walked past the exact moment I was there with the person I'd introduced her to. And she looked at us and was like, Miranda? Like, she was walking past. We were in a bar. She saw me. And she was like, oh, and we started and whatever. But she was like, that also was another reason why she was going to do it. She's like, what magic is that? What miracle? For that to happen, and for that to happen and right in that moment, it's just nuts. I can't plan that. I can't orchestrate that. It's a complete miracle. And she's like been booming in the work. You know, she had come from a strategy background, and she then made like 30K in the first 2 weeks of our program. And then she went on to just recently doing an 8K week as well, from the feminine work and adding it in, because she was so in the masculine and the strategy before, from doing this tuning and energetically connecting to her superconscious and being led to reach out to people intuitively and things. She's just creating awesome wealth. So the magic I relied on drew her to me, and then she's now using it too. And I didn't do anything. I just did a video about this. When we go and create a baby, or you just live in your life, there's not a whole lot you do for your body to function and to move through sickness and things, right? If I'm sick, I don't actually have to do a whole lot. My body will do a lot more for me, and I'll just receive that health. I had sex with my husband and I popped out a baby. There was not a whole lot I did in between of that, right? The universe and my body did all these miracles. And so often we are working our ass off trying to create this stuff that we have an energy of receptivity and the feminine that we also need to work into. Because there are miracles that the universe wants to give us, but because we're so busy trying to do all the shit and we're not getting in the state of actually being in alignment with it and being in a match for it, we can't create it. We're blocking it. Okay. You guys are quiet. Are we going like this? We go, yeah, Miranda, woo. Crazy tired. Yeah, I bet. So we got a couple minutes. Awesome. So, but the thing as well, right, is there is a balance to this, because the last piece of alchemy is rubedo. We just talked about rubedo, and this is the action piece. And the fact is, there is no gold in an idea. There's no gold in just this idea. And so often there can be people in the spiritual world and, like, you know, meditating all the things, but then their world is not reflecting anything of that. Why? Because we're not actually taking the scary, courageous action as well. And yes, there's a place for the feminine. Yes, there's a place for all the woo-woo and the meditations and the energy. However, there is also the space for just taking the scary, crazy action and not just having all these ideas, but just moving with it. So often we can get stuck in the shadow work and doing the emotional work to the point that we actually are just using it to bypass taking scary action. You know, we're just getting stuck in all of these things. So we actually don't have to put ourselves out there and get someone rejecting us, get someone judging us. Like, and so, oh no, I got to do some more emotional work. So then we're just not going to do something because it keeps us safe. Analysis paralysis. Yeah, that's right. So with that bold vision that you have, that thing that you saw before that you really desire, I want you to ask, what is the one essential, and just imagine a circle and just say, what is the one essential courageous action you need to take to step towards it? Ask your intuition, and I want you to write down in the chat that one step, what it is. You probably know what it is, and you've probably known for a while too. Oh, dating coaching as a service. I love it. That thing, like, that's in between fear and excitement. Like, what is it? Put it in. Really love yourself. I love that. Hold a masterclass. Yes, Yanni. Tell people about your new program. Love it. And this is the thing that's coming through here, and keep writing, ladies. Like, it's so often not this crazy, incredible thing that we need to do. You know, it's this simple key piece. Sometimes it is very intuitive and crazy and things, but so often it's just this simple key piece that really makes the difference. Create and hold a workshop, put yourself out there. Yes. You know, the first 6 months of 3-4 months of my business, I was sitting there trying to do a website just because it was hiding. I'm like behind my little computer, tapping away. And it's scary to go out there, be seen, show your creativity, like put yourself out there. However, putting yourself out there, putting yourself out in front of people, like that is the key way that's really going to grow things for you. Finish the damn book. I love it. Share more of your story. Yes, Fiona. Awesome. Be okay to show up as intuitive with cyber security. Feel like it's the opposite, even though it's energy. Love that, Shay. It's awesome. Recently just done a few of the key steps for support. Mine is probably about letting go of logic all the time. Yeah, I think so, Lauren, that's often your piece. And, you know, what we created for you in just using that energy work is massive. Don't let them tell me I need to be in a box, a niche. Yes, Julia. So, you know, the scary, crazy action is really big key piece. However, the thing is, our ego and the fear will be so strong that it will often undermine us. And even today, if I said to you guys, all right, now tonight, go do the thing, go get on a live and say you're doing it or whatever. And maybe tonight you may, you know, maybe you won't. Some of you will, some of you won't. But I can tell you in a few weeks, a few months, whatever, you know, often we'll be back at square one, just challenged by the thing again. Like the fear and the action in that is one of the biggest pieces to break through. All three are, but so often we have this piece, we know it, but to step over that threshold and a breakthrough there is really, really scary. Except I'm capable and worthy. Stop hiding. It doesn't matter what others think. It only matters what I think. Working solo is overwhelming. Working others in a team. Yes. And this is the key, like, and this is my last invitation to you, ladies. You know, you've seen a bit of how I work. You've seen a bit of my story. You've seen a bit of this work. If any of it's resonated with you, if you feel energetically drawn to anything, I would love you to put in the chat here if you would like info on my weekend event in August. Because, and just say yes if you want me to send it to you. Because what we've looked at tonight is the keys, and I've given you an hour and I've literally tried to put in as much as I possibly can in an hour. However, there is so much more on actual how to do the meditations, how to go deeper into this work and actually do the energetic work that I need to hold you through. And the other thing is this fear and this taking the scary action is one of the biggest blocks for many women. And to be in an intensive space to hold you, to help you break through, that is the whole intention of this 2-day event, my 2-day. You normally can only work with me for 6 months in a mastermind that is a higher investment. This is a 2-day where I'm condensing everything and putting it all into this event that you're going to get a breakthrough full 2 days with me in this intensive environment. So it's just going to be super powerful. And it's not, I don't know if I'm going to offer it again. I'm not sure. And it's going to be a lower price than normal as well, because it is the first time I'm running it in this format. Normally it's something I'd do over a few weeks. So yeah, if you want the info, let me know. Now, Zoom user, can you put your name in? Because I won't be able to find you. And so if you guys have a name here that's different, let me know your correct name, because otherwise in Facebook, I'll try and find you and I won't be able to. That would be super helpful. I might also drop the link in here too, so that if you want to just book a call directly with me, you can. I'm probably, I'm going to reach out. Oh, Shay, awesome. Thanks, Shay. So I'm probably going to reach out to you and just book a call anyway, because as I said, for me, I'm very personal in my business and I very much rely on energy. For me to suss you out and for you to suss me out, like a call is always what I prefer. I can send you info and stuff, but a page is so bland and it doesn't really show you what the event is as well. So we'll probably just have a quick check-in call. Awesome. So if you guys have said yes, you can click that link and book in with me already. But otherwise, I'll reach out to you as well. And I'm super excited. I'm pumped. But otherwise, if you just like the vibe or whatever, just keep in my group and keep connected with me, because I'm going to have a whole lot of new free stuff coming out. There was 6 months for me where I didn't do a lot of online work, but I'm really feeling a lot of energy coming into it and for it. So yeah, just stay around. I'm going to give lots of free good stuff. I'm just excited to empower you guys. If you work with me longer or whatever, or don't, I want to empower you whatever way I can. August, it's the 6th and 7th of August. If people are in a different time zone or they can't make that full 2 days, there are other things I'm planning and getting. No, it's online, Dal. Online. There are other things I'm doing to make it work for people who can't, make the date as well, if there's issues with the time or day. Awesome. Fiona, can I get your surname? Can you put that in there? That's all right, Gail. I'll still chat to you about it, because there is a way I'm going to give it to people who can't make the time. So we'll still chat if you want to have a look. But anyway, otherwise, loves, I'm going to let you guys go because it's time. If you have any questions or anything, I can stay on for a couple of minutes. But if you have to go, sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here with me for this hour. It's been an hour of fun with you. Any questions, always reach out. Love to support you in any way I can. But yeah, love you, ladies. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye-bye. I will stay if there is any questions, though. I can see the beautiful Emily.
Miranda.
Yes, Dal.
It's Lisa here. Great. That was so lovely. Thank you. What was the dates again in August, did you say?
6th and 7th of August, my love.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Yes. So let me just double. Yeah. I was like, I hope that's right. Yeah, 6th and 7th. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries, Dal. Good to see you. And good to know that's the Lisa it was. Can hear your voice. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you said that. Where is it in August? It's online, Dal. Yeah. I may run an in-person one coming up, but yeah. Awesome. Anyone want to ask anything? Anything on your minds? You've got me for a little bit if you want.